Hey there, movie nerds. Abby here.
Elliot here.
This week we are reviewing Taken, a movie that I had kind of low expectations for, but ended up being pretty darn fun.
Absolutely. And, you know, if you can manage to get tense issues into the title, it's not took, it's not will take, it was taken, past tense. That's awesome. I'm sorry. Taken stars Liam Neeson as an ex-CIA operative whose daughter is abducted, taken, while she is with her friend in Paris, and he sort of dusts off the old torture tactics and lets, open up a can of whoop-ass in the entirety of Eastern Europe mob people, and I mean, he just really goes to town on this one.
Body count, like, super duper high.
There should have been one of those little, tickers. And, like,
oh my god, that would have been so cool. I think
like,
all action movies should have that.
And, like, an explosion goes off, is like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But, when I came into this movie with really low expectations, and I was actually quite pleased. It was really fun. I came in expecting it to be exactly what it was, and I enjoyed it.
Just for those of you who have watched the Transporter movies, this is brought to you by Luc Besson, among other people, and he is the guy responsible for the Transporter movies. So it's kind of in that vein, but without the is Jason Statham gayness. No sucking air out of other people's lungs that looks like you're making out with them. It's just mostly Liam Neeson, kicking butt and being fantastic, which, by the way, excellent action hero-ness from Liam Neeson. Would not have expected that.
Fair play to you, sir. Fair play to you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, it was great. Like, just to see, I mean, I know we're on the internet, and so Abby's not going to say stuff like this, but I'm on the internet, so I can say whatever I want. He just beat the holy shit out of people. Like, he really did. Like, I mean, when we were walking out of the theater, we were talking about the action style, and I'm like, man, it's kind of like a Bourne movie, but it's even more ruthless. It's kind of like, a Daniel Craig era Bond action, except even more ruthless. Like,
this man does not care. He will slit your throat with a bottle if he has to, and he does.
I mean, there's one scene that I'm just going to say this, and you guys are going to have to go see the movie to really understand the reference. You're never going to look at your, everyday run-of-the-mill light switch.
Oh my god.
Ever again.
That was such a dark scene. That was almost the one that put me over the edge and went, I don't know if I like that.
She's a squealer.
I'm not a torture person. I like, if you're gonna beat a person up, make it quick, make it dirty, just get on with it.
Yeah, get it done. But, another thing, Abby, that I really liked about this movie is every time it seemed like we reached a plateau of the kind of violence, the kind of actions that he would go through to get to where, what he was after, he just took it to another level and completely left you in the dust.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's just... Oh, when I watch action movies like this, I mean, even if they're kind of which, I mean, the backstory for this was not very well developed, but
backstory be damned.
Seriously, I loves me some action, and, I tend to get kind of giddy in things like that, and I was just about falling out of my seat giggling by the end, just completely in a little ball of excitement going.
Like, we were in a packed theater this evening. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be that big of a thing.
I know, wow.
But, like, by the end of it, we were all practically just like, go, dude, get on with your bad self. Let him have it. I mean, really. And I just, I'm stunned. Like, if it's one of those things that I like to think that if my daughter was ever taken, that I would be able to do some of these crazy ninja moves that he has. Probably not so much, but...
There should be a parenting class on
there should be a parenting class. How to beat the holy
moves.
hell out of foreign nationals who abduct children and put them into the sex industry.
I should tell my dad about that. My dad is an international administrator at a university.
There it is.
And, first of all, he would never have let me go on a trip the way that Liam Neeson and Famke Janssen let their child go on a trip.
Yeah, 17-year-old daughter.
That would never have happened.
Unsupervised in France.
And for good reason.
She was in the country less than an hour and a half before she was abducted.
Because 17-year-olds are freaking crazy. You don't let them do crap like that. But anyway... Yeah, Dad, take note. Maybe you should be letting your students' parents in on crazy ninja moves in the event that something goes awry.
Kicking ass 101 with your Professor Liam Neeson. One of the things that I thought hasn't been talked about much with regards to this movie is the fact that the overarching idea is that his daughter was kidnapped and then sold into this sort of sex slave, human trafficking, black market. And I was just quite pleased with the fact that they addressed the they address the fact that this sort of thing is real, this sort of thing happens, and yet they balance, saying, okay, this is the size and scope of, what happens, but he's also just more focused on getting back to his daughter. Like, I mean, he kicks down door after door after door after door and finds, drugged up, sex slaves passed out on beds before, he actually gets anywhere close to what he wants to find. And I was just like, you know what? I appreciate the fact that it's not, that his daughter's not behind the first door that he kicks down.
Yeah, I liked that he actually had to work hard in order to find her, and in that process, kind of, you see that trade at all of its various levels.
Massive scope.
So
it's massive scope.
It's pretty interesting. I don't know how accurate it is, but it seems like it would make sense. So, yeah, pretty interesting.
But it really doesn't pull any punches, which I appreciate. I mean,
no, not.
Yes, he doesn't pull any punches in the physical sense.
Oh, you mean?
Also
Oh,
the
yeah,
fact that he doesn't pull any punches with regards to the content. I mean,
absolutely.
It was really quite something. Other than Liam Neeson, though, the rest of the cast doesn't really seem to matter because the rest of the cast is like lumped into two very, very separate categories. There's the people that Liam Neeson is going to maim or kill, and then there are the people that Liam Neeson is going to talk to before he maims and kills people. And I just, I thought that the people in the latter were just kind of disappointing. I mean, Famke Janssen was in the movie for 10 minutes, and all she did was walk around with her... bare
her shoulder every once in a while. She seemed to have a penchant for the one shoulder
like
thing.
This. It was like,
Flashdance!
It was a throwback to Flashdance. And then Maggie Grace plays Neeson's daughter, and I'm a really huge fan of Lost, so it was like, fantastic, Maggie Grace, cool, Shannon, back from the dead, let's do this thing. But she just doesn't come through for me.
Pretty flat. And then, I don't know, but you gotta say this about the bad guys, they are slimy as heck. They are, basically, it's you see him walk into a room, and you see some guy give him the eye, and you're like, that guy's going down. That guy's going down. That guy's going down. They all go down.
But one thing that I will never cease to understand is every single movie that is something like this, where it's like, something that's incredibly intimate and personal to one person, and then it's just business to another person, they always come up with it's not business, or it's not personal, it's just business. That person always dies. They get a bullet in the head.
Because he was a freaking tool.
I know. I'm just saying, like, you know what?
I'm sorry, I just gave your daughter to a sheik to have sex with. It wasn't personal, just business.
I'm just trying to think that what, sex slave entrepreneur in his right mind.
Yeah,
would,
really.
Would,
You're trafficking people. It's personal.
Yeah, like, not only that, but would come to the person who is, like, notched up 40, 50 bodies to get to you, and just, like, try to throw, just throw flame on the, just throw gas in the fire. Let's just get that thing as big as we possibly can. Man, it's not a big deal for me, it's just business.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna go out, you gotta go out like a gangsta.
That guy went out in every other way but that. But yeah, it's okay.
Sorry, my roommate just walked in. That's why I did the tongue thing. I'm sure it looked really weird on tape. I don't care.
Come in.
Hi,
Can I have a
cookie? Sure. All right, we should probably wrap this up before it gets any more awkward. But for two awesome movie nerds, I'm Abby.
And I'm Elliot.
Go forth and watch, please, and have fun.
Cookies.